You are welcome to PMO Strategies
Strategists
podcast, which is
podcast.
uh, PMO Strategies Corner podcast. And PMO Strategies is an entity dealing with the support services for businesses to move in a strategic direction. And my name is M. Aslam Mirza, and this podcast is being run by me
Run
for
by
the
me for the
professionals to move in their desired directions with the force
direction
and
with the
strength.
code and extent.
So this podcast is going to go through introduction of the PMO strategies, which briefly I have already brought to you. Then I'm going to share with you the purpose of Strategic Corner podcast, and then insightful views of the guest, who is Dr. Margareth Carneiro. And then I'm going to share with you the services of PMO, what they offer for the businesses and professionals. So with this, let me share with you uh, the purpose of this podcast. This purpose of this podcast is to find the views and experience and most importantly, the wisdoms of the guests who have very extensive exposure in the business industry to how they have been able to manage their business complexities in their present time, and that learning to pass on to the
So the
professionals for their learning and for their advancement in the business. So that is the basic purpose of this podcast. As I said, my name is M. Aslam Mirza. I'm the founder and CEO of PMO Strategies, and the purpose of this strategist advancement is to help businesses. My exposure is very extensive to business industry, and I have been able to manage a construction company in CEO and MD positions for well over 10 years. And
years
I would like to invite your attention to my four books, which are written on project management and leadership challenges. The beauty of these books are is that these are written under the theme of aura. Aura is AURA, and that is a distinctive atmosphere surrounding a person or a team who have reached and poised with learnings to a level where they can put in the best of to the advancements of their personal career and to the businesses. So this aura is really important. If you have interest, you can find this at Amazon. Luckily, we have got very learned and experienced professional, Dr. Margaret F. Carneiro. She has very extensive exposure to business industry and particularly to project management. She has been a board member also and of PMI.
yeah,
I may not be able to bring her all exposure to
all
the profession and to the business. I will request her to share her own experiences and professional exposures in a little while. Before that, I would like to share with you the business complexities so that you can understand that what are the areas we are going to talk about, and the perspective remains of the business complexities, because this is something which is happening in the present time, and everyone, small, large, or big organizations are having problems with managing all these business complexities. These have got four areas: external, internal, operational, and strategic. In the external area, the organizations are required to manage their global volatility. They need to manage technological changes. They need to regularly regulatory landscape, increasing competition, climate change, cybersecurity, geopolitical uncertainty, supply chain disruption. These are the areas
areas
which brings impacts on the organization from outside of the world. And then internal are talent acquisition and retention, DI and B, that is diversity, equity, inclusivity, and belonging. That needs to be managed within the organizations. Organizational culture and engagement, digital transformation, informed decision making, leadership development, change management, communication breakdowns. These are the areas which really requires businesses to manage in an effective manner for their business flow. The operational challenges are managing remote workforce, streamlining processes, quality control, managing logistics, customer satisfaction, adapting AI and blockchain, managing intellectual property, mitigating risk. And then at the strategic level, because without defining and heading towards their strategic goals, they cannot sustain growth and they cannot ensure their survival. So in that area, the complexities are innovating business model, identifying new market, building strategic partnership, managing mergers and acquisition, competitive advantage, fostering innovation and R&D, managing global expansion, sustainable business strategies. So these areas have got such a large list of complexities which needs to be managed, and that's the challenge that the business managers are facing in the present time. And for that, the learned, experienced person with us is Margaret, Dr. Margaret Carneiro, and she's going to share her experience and exposures with reference to this. And I will request her to share her experience and exposure to start with, and then go along with the wisdom she want to share. Dr. Carneiro, please.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Hello, everybody that's is watching this. I am Margareth Carneiro. I'm from Brazil. I have an experience of more than 3 decades in project management, in program management, in portfolio management. So this is my journey, and I embraced this career for a long time ago. And I'm also a long-term volunteer. I am a volunteer of PMI since 1999. I was the first president of PMI Distrito Federal chapter in Brazil, and I took a lot of places of roles in PMI as PMI specific interest group in government and ethics and other. And I end up to be part of the PMI board of directors for 2 terms, 6 years. And now I am part of Agile Alliance, uh, that is also an international nonprofit organization, and we did a partnership with PMI recently. That PMI and Agile Alliance. So I'm part of both organizations as volunteer, and my experience is I work in IT sector for 12 years, and then I had my own company for 12 years, and I established a lot of PMOs and methodologies and help my clients to have better process and practice in management. And then I start to work to the government. So nowadays I am part of the government, I mean a public sector, where I also implement PMOs, help the organizations to have better ways to lead, to deal with the money that is for all citizens, right? So I'm still working, and I'm also a teacher at the university. I hold a PhD in administration, a master in science and IT. So this is me, and I'm very happy to be here to talk about so complex uh, stuff, as Dr. Mohammed showed us. This is a huge, we have to be good in several practice in order to deal with the complexities that the world bring to us now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Margaret. You have very extensive exposure to the business industry and to the knowledge areas. So definitely, you will be in a better position to share your knowledge and perception, so that you can help out the businesses, and particularly the business managers and the professionals, to move on in their business and in their career. So to start with, the first question is that how and what you have been able to guide to your clients in the present time, and how you were able to manage the business advancements with all these complexities, managing all these complexities, and facing the challenges of the present time. So this is my first question. Please share your wisdom and experience.
Okay. Well, as I said before, we have different approaches and practices to help business to be more effective, etc. But in my view, because I am from the the projects area, I think that nowadays all companies have to innovate all the time, and innovation is made by projects. So it's very important to the companies, to the organization, have good practice in place to help deliver better the results they want, the new products, the new service, etc., the innovation they need. And they need to be fast. They need to achieve the customer's need. So nowadays we are uh, think about to, and we are seeing in the space that people on the place that people are using both approaches, like adaptive approaches that is very good for software development, innovation, all the kind of delivery that we don't know in advance what kind of delivery we will do, because it will be more experimental. You have to have feedback from the customers. So this kind of projects, they fit very well with a adaptive approach or agile approach. In the other hand, we have also the projects that they have a very well process to do. They have it's possible in the earlier phases to understand what to have, what we need to deliver, so we can have this if scope earlier. It's used in civil engineer, for example, in pharmacy and health. So all those kinds of projects, we can use the predictive approaches very well. So, but nowadays we are seeing that it's better to have something in the middle that people are uh, naming as hybrid approach. So you can use both or part of both to better um, to better serve to the the company, to be more effective, etc. So I don't like to use the term hybrid, because sometimes you can be just adaptive or just the other side, like is predictive, but you can also blend s- some of those. So what use as a name is versatile. I think that the people that work with the projects now, they need to be more versatile. They need to understand better a set of tools so they can use depending on the kind of project and the kind of organization. So I think it's a trend now that people have to be more versatile when delivering stuff. And the other thing is that I see there is a gap in some countries that that is a level above those initiatives. That is the program. That means that it is a set of initiatives or projects that, if they are managed together, they will be more effective and they will bring more benefits for a company. So if you are, for example, if you are made a digital transformation, it is not a single project. It is a excuse me. It is a set of initiatives and various projects that can help you to transform digitally. So it's important to have a way of doing that in a systematic way. And there are some program standards, but usually people don't use that. They don't do the homework. Usually they don't manage the programs the way they should do. And I did I published a book, and I did a method that is a program canvas, and I use in several uh, clients, particularly in government and in international agents. They have big programs with a lot of small or medium or big projects, and they don't do this in a systematic way. Because of that, I published this book with a colleague. Unfortunately, it is in Portuguese, but we will uh, publish it in English in the end of this year. So it's a way of doing that in an easy way with Canvas and put all the projects together to manage better. So I think it's an experience that I'd like to share with you, that some companies, some organization, uh, they don't care about this and they are losing effectiveness and they are losing the way of giving benefits. Okay. And the third thing that I'd like to share with you, I think that we have to have a good program management. So I'm hearing some stuff. Uh, and for the in program, we need to have good project management manager, more versatile, so they can use different tools. They can blend some practice. They can go through adaptive to uh, or predictive without any concern, easily. I mean, more fluid. The third thing that I'm seeing that people have to learn more in the in project uh, area. It can be on the PMO, it can be as a program manager, or it can be as a project manager. But it's important to understand and to learn more about artificial intelligence. So nowadays there are a lot of good tools that can help you in planning, in executing, and control your team, and make analysis and risk management, stakeholder management. So there are a lot of good uh, tools that can help you better and be more effective. I don't know. Is it okay?
Great, great, just great, Dr. Margaret. You have very expressly mentioned the approach, and that's really workable. You have mentioned project management framework, and there you mentioned program portfolio management and organizational project management as well, which is at the enterprise level. I would request you to elaborate a little bit more on this area, because how this structure brings the transparency in the organization, which is the most needed in the present time.
Okay. So I start with portfolio management. Okay. So it's very important to the companies. They should have the visibility and transparency of what they are doing, where they are spending their money, and so to align to strategic plan. So portfolio management is the piece that is between the strategic planning and the tactical and operational activities. So it's very important to have this also systematic and with good practice, but it doesn't have to be heavy and bureaucratic stuff. No, but at least you have to have some process that give visibility, that give uh, a decision make opportunity. So the high leadership, the leadership can decide where to invest and how to invest based on some uh, criteria. So it's very important to have this portfolio management in place. And after that, some projects, they will bring more effectiveness and benefits if they are managed together. So the program manager is a way to manage uh, a set of initiative and projects to achieve a common benefit. So it's also important to have a systematic and way of doing that. And you can see some standards in markets. For example, PMI has the standard, program standard, and Excelos has also the MSP, that's Management Successful Program, that can help you to implement. And I told you that I wrote a book that make it easier, more collaborative way of plan a program and achieve the benefits, etc. And all, if you have a program or not, you have the projects, right? Those projects, they can be managed in several ways now. When I start, we had just one way of doing that. We had the PMBOK, and you follow all the practice. Nowadays, even the PMBOK is more flexible. The PMBOK, they have a hybrid approach. You can use sometimes adaptive, sometimes the more waterfall model, etc. Or both. You can have a hybrid approach. So the project managers, they have to be very good in order to implement, to deliver what they should deliver. And this is a cause and effect chain. If you don't deliver your projects well, you don't achieve your benefits, and you don't achieve the strategic objectives that you have. So all of them must be aligned, and we need good people doing the stuff. We need good people doing the job. Okay. And I don't know if I answer you, Mohammed.
Well, I will only, I'm only worried for one thing, that you said good people. So good people means what? Because that good people, you mean good in profession, good in character, or good in what? Because there's something which needs to be
A
elaborated.
good question. Yes, it's a good question. Of course, if you are a good person, it's very important because if you have the character, you have you honest, etc. It's very important. It's the base. But you also have to have technical skills and soft skills. When I'm saying good people, I'm saying like you have the hard skills that you need, like know approaches, know tools, know how to do, know the practice, you have experience on delivery. This is very important, the technical hard skills. And also you have to have the soft skills because we work in teams and it's important to understand people, to know how to work together, to be committed and to have a good communication, etc. So good for me if you have the hard skills and the soft skills is the best one.
That's great. That's great. Thank you very much. And I will only request you to add that if the good person has got the strength of the certification of PMI, that will bring an additional feather in the cap, because that knowledge is not only accepted globally, but it also helps to enhance the capacity and capability.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me go to the next question, and uh, that is to find the best way you'd advise to your clients and to your professionals how best they should move to the next level in performance.
Okay. Well, to go to the next level, I think that the company has to learn to be a learning organization. It is very important to be a learning organization, and we are talking about that for decades now. And we in knowledge management, how to learn, how to keep to let people learn, how to acquire all the experience, etc. But it is not fully understood by people. And so it's important um, to the companies be a learning organization. So let people experiment, let people fail, let people innovate, and also learn about these fails, register all the lessons learned, etc. So it's very important to companies became more uh, learning oriented. I think also it's important to companies to be fast to change the way of doing stuff, to change the way of have process, especially for big companies. It's very difficult today to change. They are very structured, they are very rigid, and it's not good to be that rigid. So it's important to the companies learn to be more flexible, to change fast, because the market is changed too fast, right? And third one is part of that, but it's important to stress that artificial intelligence is here. It's not the future. It's also is the past, because we are using that for at least 2 years. Because 2 years that people are using, we have artificial intelligence for a decade, but now people are using, and we are seeing every day it is uh, we see new ones, new tools, new approaches, new everything. So it's very important the companies became up to date and try to use that, because it will make them the companies more effective. It will save money. It would be very important to be up to date with artificial intelligence.
Very true. Very true. You have very rightly said, because artificial intelligence, instead of being afraid of it, one should learn, because it helps enhancement of the personal competence, and that way one becomes more effective and more relevant to the job and can do a better job. So I totally agree with you. Thank you very much.
You're
uh,
welcome.
Dr. Margaret, you have been very kind to share your views, your wisdom, and your experiences. Thank you very much. I think the the professionals will be able to learn from all this, and they will definitely take up the advices you have suggested, and they are learning, especially in the project management field, as you have very rightly said, that the structure is helpful for the businesses to move on. Before I go to the next area of explaining what PMO strategies can bring to the business industry, I will request you to share your views on the value of PMO. What you think PMO can bring to the businesses?
Well, I am a fan of PMO. I don't conceive a company without a PMO. I know that there are people that say, it's not for every company, but if you are medium company or big company, you need a PMO. If you are a small one, like 1, 2, 3, 10 person, you don't need, of course. But if you are a company that have a lot of people, a lot of projects, it's very important to have a PMO. And it can be one point that can consolidate all those good practices that I said before. So the portfolio management, the program management, the project management, no matter what methodology or framework you are using, all of them can be in the PMO. They can be part of the functions or the services that PMO is providing. So I think it's very important. I am a fan of PMO, and I think that all companies that need to be more effective should have PMO. No matter the name you give, sometimes people say that's an excellence center or other names, but the function are the same. So PMO is very important.
Very right. Very right. Thank you very much for your views. Now I will go to the next area, that is what services PMO strategies brings to the business and professionals. Essentially, the setup brings diagnostic assessment of gaps in the strategy and execution. That is the foremost important area when some organization wants to move in a strategic directions, that what gaps they have in the present moment and how to manage that gap. Because strategic alignment and disciplined strategy execution is the foremost important area for moving to a strategic direction. So these services are very well provided by PMO strategists. Then the next area is, if organizations have got their own PMO and they are making use of it, uh, PMO strategies can help them in assessing their processes and helping them to move to optimization of their functions. The third area is change management and cultural transformation. The cultural transformation is the foremost important area for the success of an organization, because supportive culture matters a lot, because without having a supportive culture, you just cannot think of moving to a level where you want to go, because strategic advancement requires something which helps you to move in all times and facing with all the challenges and moving with the speed, rather more than the speed you want. So that happens only when you have a supported culture. So that supportive culture is do not happen on its own. It needs to be crafted. So PMO strategies can help out in this area. Then leadership development, because leadership essentially is the basic force behind culture and behind movement of the advancements to a strategic direction. Project management essentially is leadership intensive endeavor, and if you have established proper and strong leadership, then you will be able to move the way you want to, and you can reach to your desired outcomes, and you can move to your desired directions. So this is the area where PMO strategies can help organizations to move on. The second area is the second area is the training, where organizations can have the training requires to move in the required directions, and that starts from building resilience and adaptability in teams and leadership. It also help in enhancing communication and collaboration. It helps driving innovation and creativity. It helps developing strategic thinking and problem solving. So these are the areas where PMO strategies can extensively help the businesses and organizations. Here, I would like to mention once again, as Dr. Margaret has very correctly said, that PMO is very close to her heart. Why? Because the value of PMO is that strong, and that needed in the present time and all time to come, because the organizations having all the challenges and all the uncertainties and all the complexities in their movement towards desired directions cannot put their focus on the areas which needs to be dealt with along with the advancement. So for that, PMO is the area which really brings them that area. And PMO essentially is needs to be transformed to center of excellence. Center of excellence is a thought process which is in use since last couple of decades, but with the combination of PMO is the area which brings the power of project management, and power of project management with the center of excellence, and now in the present time, leverage with AI can bring extraordinary strengths to the businesses and to all level. I would say even those who cannot afford their internal PMOs, they can take the advance the advice and the guidance from the existing PMO strategies, like PMO strategies. So this is the area which really can help the organizations to move on and get the benefit of the knowledge and the expertise available in the market. So with this, thank you very much. Uh, Here is the area which really brings to your attention that if you need to know what is the PMO Center of Excellence, the value, a proposition, you can go for a presentation. You can make a schedule for presentation. Then this strategist corner podcasts are there on the YouTube. You can always visit the podcast and learn the viewpoints of the experienced professionals. And for the consulting services, you can touch upon the contact area which is provided here. With this, thank you very much. Before I close, I will request Dr. Margaret, if something else comes to her mind that she wants to share for the last minute advice, please do that.
No, no, I just I would ask people to follow me in my LinkedIn as well. Is can find me Margareth Carneiro, and it would be nice to talk to you guys. And I think we said everything that we should say. Thank you for this opportunity, Muhammad, Mr. Muhammad, and I hope it was useful for your members and followers.
Thank you very much. With this, I'm going to close down. And before I close down, I will only put a note that if you need any clarification, any further elaboration of any point, please feel free to reach out. And if there is anything which needs to be asked from Dr. Margaret, I will request her to provide that clarification. So please feel free. And the basic point is that how best you are able to understand and learn the approach. For that, any clarity, any advancement, any elaboration, feel free to reach out. With this, thank you very much. And with this, I'm going to close it down. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Margaret, and the prospective participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye, people.